Hey, co-reporters, welcome back to my channel. 14-year-old rapper and social media influencer Lil Tay has passed away under suspicious circumstances. And this is the announcement that her family made about her passing today. Not only did Lil Tay pass away at 14 years old, but her older brother Jason also passed away as well, which makes the whole situation that much more bizarre. Jason was a bit older than Tay, but his age was not clear. So I'm going to assume that he was a teenager as well. But either way, even if he was in his 20s, it's still young. And the fact that two young children could pass away like this in a family within a similar span of time is truly bizarre. The family already said that their passings are still under investigation, which means that they suspect some sort of foul play. I already made a video about announcing the passing of Lil Tay, the unfortunate and untimely passing of Lil Tay and her brother. And I'm going to give you a little bit of a summary before we get into the shocking allegations that her brother had made against their father a couple of years before the two of them mysteriously passed away super young. Okay. So Lil Tay, her online persona was very obnoxious and very inappropriate. She was 10 or 11 years old when her brother started putting her out there on the internet. She was swearing a lot. She was using a lot of racial slurs as well. She was using the N-word. She had a similar persona to Vicky, which was very much like cosplaying as stereotypical African-American Black women. And it was very disgusting and disrespectful to the Black community, in my opinion, and in many other people's opinions as well. A lot of people were wondering, what is this child doing, speaking like this, acting like this, so just ridiculous and ratchet on the internet at her age? Is she not in school? Like, where are her parents? How can they allow her to act this way? And then we found out that her mom actually got fired from her job in real estate because, and it was luxury real estate, you guys, because she was using the client's homes and her boss's cars to help Tay fake this persona. Then we also find out that the parents were fighting over how to manage her career moving forward. Now, this leads me to the GoFundMe page that Lil Tay's brother Jason had created for her a couple of years ago. Okay, so let's take a look at the allegations that he was making against her father, who, by the way, had a manager and somebody else on his side trying to control Tay's career, because her career up until that point was under the management of her brother and her mother. So I'm so sorry to put this up without warning you guys. I want to tell you it's a trigger warning because there are allegations of abuse and there are photographs to support those allegations. Okay, so let's get into the content, shall we? So this is the GoFundMe page that her brother had created for her. It is still live, and as you can see, donations were pouring in as recently as 9 months ago, but I believe it was put up officially about two and a half years ago. It was actually April 23rd, 2021, so a bit over 2 years ago. And this is what her brother Jason had to say. Lil Tay will be fighting for her life, future, and freedom starting April 23rd, 2021. Tay is in desperate need of funds to support her fight against her abusive father as a result of this situation, and she has been in a state of depression. All funds, caps lock, raised through this GoFundMe will go towards Tay's legal fees to give her the fighting chance in court to save her from a life of harm, towards her future and freedom. Starting April 23rd, 2021, Tay will be on trial in the BC, British Columbia, Supreme Court of Canada up against her absentee father, Chris Hope, who, along with his wife, Honey Hope, previously known as Rashani Alcover, had physically and mentally harmed her. Chris Hope is fighting to permanently gain control of her career as well as custody of her. So then he has a photo of a close-up of Lil Tay's cheek. It appears to be her left cheek. And in the caption, it says, picture of harm Tay endured at Chris Hope's home. So that's not, we don't know if it's alleged that the father did this or if it's alleged that his wife did this, right? Her stepmother. Now, continuing along. My sister Tay has been silent on social media for the past 3 years because her absentee father, Chris Hope, served my mother a court order demanding control over Tay's money, career, and custody. And as a result, it was court ordered that my sister had to return to Vancouver, Canada. He also requested through a court order to prevent her from speaking out about the truth. Since then, he has stolen millions of dollars from my sister and has taken control of all her funds. He has signed $1 million deals and taken all of Tay's money for himself. He has spent millions buying himself and his wife, Honey Hope, a new mansion, speedboat, nice cars, trips to spas, salons, fancy restaurants, trips to Egypt, Dubai, Mexico, Philippines, Hawaii, the UK, Paris, designer clothing, and jewelry / watches from head to toe. They've been living a lavish lifestyle for the past 3 years off of Tay's money. Honestly, this is just appalling. I don't want to say shocking because the fact that a parent could steal from their child who is like a child star is not shocking. It's happened for several years and generations, right? So many child stars have come out about being exploited by their parents. And Tay was no different. She hasn't come out talking about being exploited by her parents, but it was very obvious that she was being exploited by her parents and her brother. I know her brother is trying to be the hero in this situation, but he's the one who had this girl up on the internet slinging around the N-word and presenting herself as like an ignorant, uneducated ghetto ratchet hood rat when she is just a child, right? That's not at all what or who she is. She was a smart girl who excelled in school until her brother started representing her this way on the internet. What is that? You know, making it look like she smokes wheat pot or crack or whatever that is in her hand, right? But let's continue along. So he did post photos. They were from Facebook of their father and his wife in the speedboat wearing the designer clothing with the money that he claims they stole from Tay. And then he also had a photo of vacations, the vacations he was talking about in some of those places they went to. I tried to collect these links, but they don't work. That they were later deleted from Facebook. So just FYI, that's why I'm not putting them up because they don't exist anymore. But he does continue on to say that Chris Hope, Tay's dad, had not seen Tay in over 5 years and currently owes $400,000 plus in child support that he has refused to pay since 2013, which was 8 years before this GoFundMe was made. My sister has no money left. Every last dollar of hers has been taken from her by Chris Hope. My mother has completely exhausted all of her life savings after spending $750,000 plus on legal fees in fighting for Tay's freedom in the entire court process, as well as supporting her financially since Chris Hope is not paying child support. With your help, Tay can be saved from a life of harm. This is about her future freedom and human rights. I'm sorry, you guys. I have to say it again. I think it's really rich that the brother is talking about freedom and human rights for Tay and just like, you know, saving her and whatnot. Meanwhile, he was exploiting the hell out of her on the internet. We saw her on Good Morning America. She looked embarrassed and sad by the way that her persona was being projected on the internet and the things that she was being fed by her brother. She had to take an internet hiatus because there was a time when she was doing one of those like skits, right, where she's acting, you know, kind of obnoxiously like her brother coached her to. And you could actually hear her brother coaching her the lines. And people were just disgusted by the entire thing. So for him to talk about wanting to liberate her, give her freedom and human rights when this is what he did to his sister, please, right? Anyway, let's get into the back. And by the way, the fact that you can make millions of dollars as a non-Black girl by imitating stereotypical Black girls or whatever you want to call it is so mind-boggling to me, right? Like the fact that she and Wo Vicky and Danielle Bergoli, Catch Me Outside, like the fact that they've been able to do this, and I haven't seen a young Black girl come up off the internet doing the same thing, is crazy to me. You know, I feel like if a young Black girl acted like these girls on the internet, it would have been a completely different story, but I digress. That is a subject for another day. Let's continue on to his background there. So it is wild to me that this man got millions of dollars off this child and never thought to put it into the child support that he owes to her anyway, right? And I don't understand how he even got to have custody of the child if he had not been seeing her for 5 years prior to her making money. What kind of judge would do that, right? But maybe he'll explain it in the background story, the brother. Since Tay's birth, Chris Hope had been an absentee father. She lived with my mom and I full time until Tay turned 5 years old. Then he applied to court for parenting time. He did this to get a reduction in child support that he legally was obligated to pay. The judge granted him 50-50 parenting time, 1 week on, 1 week off, and a discount in child support for taking responsibility as a parent. Tay was forced by the legal system to live with him. She hated this, but she had no choice. Since she started living with him, the problem started. Chris Hope had a dysfunctional home and would bring many types of Asian women. He brought all types of women to the home. They were not in relationships, they were strictly adult partners. They got nude and slept in the same bed with Tay. They engaged, in adult activities while Tay was right beside them. These are some strong allegations that the brother was making. Tay did not understand what they were doing, but she tried her best to explain to my mom what she had seen. So my mom's lawyer wrote a letter to his lawyer and brought this to the courts. Judge Davies stated that what he was doing was a bad influence on the child. And he then asked Judge Davies, "May I have any friends?" He also claimed they all had pajamas on. The judge told him that this behavior was inappropriate and it should stop, but Chris Hope did not stop. It was brought to the attention of the elementary school teachers by Tay's classmates that Chris Hope was giving her things like moldy bread, moldy chicken, and little maggots and parasites coming out of it. 1-month-old pizza, leftover soggy white bread with ketchup, cold burnt toast, hard as a rock, and sometimes only crackers for lunch. The teachers had a talk with my mom and let her know about the situation. My mom told Chris Hope that this was not okay and she needed proper lunches. He ignored her, so my mom started to bring Tay lunches herself. Chris Hope found out about this and threatened to make deductions on child support for every time my mom bought Tay a real lunch. What? It is so wild. Anyway, the brother shared screenshots as evidence. And so these texts presumably came from the father, Chris Hope. "You need to tell me in advance if you're going to clear school at lunch. You keep wasting our money by not letting Claire eat her lunch. From now on, if you take Claire lunch without telling me in advance, so Claire does not eat the lunch we send her, I am deducting $10 from you." Jesus Christ. And then they've got some photos of the lunches that were given to Tay. I didn't see, let me see if I can get links for this to work. No, these images are deleted, but this one is embedded. So you see here, this looks like it's something that's like stale because it's, got those black marks. And then the caption says, "Stop these," but there's like nothing on them. It's just bread. It's just whatever this is. No deep fried food. No more candies. Stop giving these junks to Claire. What is this? What is this? Okay, this just looks like a sandwich that was a little bit squished, but nothing crazy. This pizza does look like it's hard. This happens when pizza gets cold and hard, right? It starts to curdle up like that, so that I can see. Students also found out that Tay was wearing broken and ripped shoes and socks every other week. Some students started bullying Tay, making fun of her, and telling her she dressed homeless. Tay started to develop bad social anxiety. She hid in the bathroom stalls during recess and lunch. Other students told the teachers, and they told my mom. Chris Hope didn't allow Tay to wear clothing brought over from my mom's house. He only allowed clothing and shoes he bought for Tay to be worn during these times that he had parenting time. He purposely got her old and beat up clothing, and there's a photo of her ripped up shoes. Oh, Lord. Now, this is a text message from the mom taking a picture of Claire in the shoes. And she's saying, "What kind of human could put on such broken shoes over 1 week on his child? You could pay all your adult partners vacation. You could pay expensive, poor PHA, but not, I guess, a new pair of shoes for your daughter." Wow. Things got worse when Chris Hope and his current wife, Hani Hope, previously known as Richanie Vega Alcover, girlfriend at the time, moved into a house together. Hani Hope was jealous of Tay. She wanted all of Chris Hope's money and attention. She immediately started to physically and mentally harm Tay. She forced Tay to watch explicit horror movies like Bride of Chucky with them, including Chris Hope and her son, which was from her previous marriage with a Filipino man. Hani Hope then locked her in a dark closet many times. Tay cried for Chris Hope's help in the dark, but he did not do anything to help. As a kid, this traumatized her, of course. Oh my God. She became very scared of the dark and being alone. To this day, she cannot sleep alone because of the harm and trauma. And so this is another photo of her cheeks. So it looks like scratching or slapping. And then this looks a little bit dark in the eye area as well. How do people do this stuff? Not just the physical stuff, but everything else. How do people do this to kids? Like, kids are just so beautiful and sweet and innocent. And just to do this to them is just so shocking to me. It really breaks my heart. All of this is alleged, by the way, but reading this is devastating. It's so detailed. He's got receipts, right? Like, again, it's alleged, but I'm believing the brother here. Chris Hope witnessed all of this. Tay even begged him to help, but he didn't do anything to save her. He allowed this to continue and progress. Honey Hope became an enabler for him to eventually start hitting and locking her in the dark closet as well, and they started harming her together. Honey Hope spoke terribly of Tay to Chris Hope. They would purposefully keep all the doors open at night, and Honey would say vile things about Tay and my mother to him. They spoke and shared their hate towards Tay and my mom. They also started to refer to Tay as wow, the C word slur, B and mother effer. They referred to my mom as Chinese, bitch. Tay remembers them speaking and fantasizing about offing my mom and her starting a new family. Guys, this is not looking good, right? With Tay and her brother passing away at young ages under suspicious circumstances. And now we're going back and seeing the stuff that he wrote 2 years ago, 2.5 years ago. Someone needs to look into this, Dad. Holy cow. This right here is just wow, right? Tay had many sleepless nights. She became very paranoid and became depressed and developed bad anxiety. She always fell asleep in class. Chris Hope and Honey Hope went out for dinner very frequently, and they would lock Tay in the dark closet every time they went out. They went to concerts and also threw big parties, hosting 50 to 200 people. Instead of bringing Tay, they locked her in the closet. What is wrong with these people? Allegedly. If it was a long duration, they would get Honey Hope's sister, Cheska Alcover, to come over and check up on Tay every few hours while she was in the closet. Oh, Lord, not even the sister, too. She didn't see anything wrong with this. Jesus. Pictures of their outings, concerts, and parties while Tay's in the closet. Let me open in a new tab and see if it pops up. No, it doesn't pop up. So none of these Facebook links work, guys. Chris Hope and Honey Hope were also inappropriate. They always walked around the home nude. Tay was very young. She described their bodies specifically and detailed all the body hair. My mom told Chris this needed to stop, but Honey Hope and Chris told my mom to F off. Oh, Lord. And now here's a screenshot of a text conversation. This is sent by the mom. Every day it's inappropriate and disgusting. Stop. Ugly, nude bodies just make people sick. Stop making noise when Claire is sleeping, at least before 8 a.m. or after 8 p.m. Please behave yourself. Oh, having a child with someone is so scary. The amount of horror stories I hear all the time is just, Lord, what is this? The fact that you have to tell someone, stop being nude, you and your partner around my child. Stop locking her in a closet. Give her proper shoes. Stop feeding her garbage that is like rotten or just deep fried, and junk. Like, oh my God, I can't imagine living like this. This is heartbreaking. On one occasion, Chris and Honey Hope instructed Tay to stand between the closet door, where she then slammed the door on her foot. She was left with a broken and bloody toenail. Tay fell to the ground, and Chris Hope and his woman dragged and locked her in the dark. Okay, guys, I'm having a hard time continuing here now. I'm getting really, wow. This is really upsetting. I know I warned you guys. I had a trigger warning earlier, but I don't think it was strong enough. So I definitely do apologize for that because this is just wow. Whew. Let me take a little break, okay, before we continue here because this is a lot, man. If any of this is true, I am just absolutely, completely heartbroken, devastated, and horrified for Tay that she had to live like this because just hearing that this was happening to her allegedly on one side, and then on the other side, you've got her being forced to act like this on the internet in a way that she was ashamed of, right? And did not at all accurately represent her. And then when she makes it big, behaving this way, being forced to behave this way, everyone around her starts circling her like vultures, living off of her, right? Like fighting over how they can control her money, how they can manage her quote unquote career and whatnot. Like, and then the people who were allegedly harming her, aka her dad and his wife, now taking her and spending all of her money as well after allegedly doing these things. Oh, that poor girl. Oh my God. That poor girl, she needed to be saved. I can't believe that this was possible. Allegedly, right? I have to keep saying that. Oh, Lord have mercy. No. Okay. I think we're almost done here, you guys. But let's try to stay strong and keep going through this because wow. Wow. She was only 5 years old. Oh my God. Chris Hope and his woman threatened Tay and told her if she told any of the teachers at school or my mother, they would punish her and lock her in the closet and force her to watch other horror movies while she was in the closet. Oh, can you imagine? Even myself as an adult, I cannot watch a horror movie in a closet in the dark. I need to have all my lights on. Oh my God. And 911 on speed dial just in case. They said if anybody asked about her injury, she needed to tell them she fell down on the playground. So is this story, right? My mom ended up finding out about her broken toe while bathing her. Tay told her that she fell on the playground while playing tag with her friends. My mom didn't believe her and asked Chris Hope what had happened to Tay's foot and why she had so many scratches on her body, but he always ignored her text calls. Oh, now we're going to see the scratches on her body. Oh, Chris Hope and his woman, Honey Hope, scratched, pinched, and beat her. They locked Tay in the closet, and they also did not let Tay shower. The scratches became infected, and she developed bad rashes. When she came back to my mom's house, she could not sleep. Oh my God, you guys. Look, so this is like where her neck would be, right? And this is like her tailbone. This is her whole back. Her whole entire back. Look at all of this. I don't think she would be able to reach all of this on her own. Oh my God. Oh, this poor girl, this poor girl, this poor girl. I am so devastated. I'm so heartbroken for her. I can't believe this was her life, allegedly. My mom took Tay to the Vancouver police station and they started investigating Chris and his wife, Hani. The police asked them if Tay was locked in a dark closet, and he and his wife told the police that Hani Hope's son, who was from her previous marriage with a Filipino man, and Tay were playing hide and seek and they hid in the closet together. They told the police they had no idea Tay's toe was broken. And so this is proof that they filed a police report. This is the police report number and everything. Oh my God, I believe the brother. I believe the brother. I believe the brother. Oh my God. This did not stop. They were extremely angered that the police got involved. As punishment, they beat her on her face and body. The following week, when my mother came to pick her up from school, her face was purple, bruised, and she had many scratches on her body. My mom again took Tay to Vancouver police station and they started investigating Chris. And this time, they told police Tay fell on the playground. Oh, la, la. Tay, she was such a beautiful child. Oh my God. Okay, we're almost there, you guys. Shortly after this incident, Tay stopped living with Chris Hope and he stopped paying child support. He currently so he was taken away. She was taken away, thank God. But how did he get her again when she was famous, you know? He owes 400,000 plus in child support. He never saw her again until she became famous in May of 2018, which is when he applied to the court for custody and control over her career. She was court ordered to be brought back to Vancouver from LA. He notified every company waiting to work with Tay. He had court orders signing. How did he get this when police were involved twice and he was stripped or like she was removed from his house? How? It's not too coincidental to the courts that all of a sudden that she's famous and rich, the dad wants her back. And even if why would he not be ordered to have parenting classes, supervised visitation, not be able to have legal, authority over her? This is crazy. Court ordered signing authority and ended up signing millions of dollars in deals. Tay had received multiple multi-million-dollar offers. All of this had been taken away by him. Now she has no money left. Everything she's ever worked for has been taken by him. Tay is very passionate about music, dance, and all kinds of art. She's not been given the opportunity to show her talents to the world. Please save Tay. Your donation will give her the opportunity to fight for her future and freedom from a life of exploitation and abuse. Tay needs you. Other ways you can vote: share this GoFundMe, post and advocate using Save Lil Tay. Wow. So he did provide an update on the 29th of April saying, I want to take the time to personally thank everyone that believed the truth and supported Tay, even through the conspiracy theories. Please realize a Supreme Court case directly involving a minor is not public information. All documents are sealed and will not show up in the registry. The truth will eventually come out. Chris Hope owes over $400,000 in child support and has stolen millions. I am just now speaking out about this because I am no longer a minor. Okay, so in 2021, he was at least 18. And now have the right to do so without harming my family legally. All people alleging that I am stealing money through a GoFundMe, please look at the facts. Look at the police reports about the abuse. This is a serious situation. And so there are a lot of people left some wonderful, supportive comments as they left donations. Oh my God, how did I not know about this? This is horrifying. He almost reached his target. He reached 17,000 out of 19,000 in his quest to save his sister. Lord have mercy. This poor, poor girl. Oh God, I hate this. That her whole life sounds like it was just difficult. Exploitation, harm, just wow. Lil Tay, oh my God. I have a completely different perspective of her now. You know, of course, I mentioned it in the beginning of my initial video about her passing, and you know, in this video as well, I did not like her persona. I felt like it was incredibly disrespectful to the African American community. I felt like it was incredibly exploitative, but I've always made it clear it's not her fault. She was a child. She was forced to start doing this at like 10 years old, right? But now hearing about the stuff that was going on behind the scenes, allegedly, oh, I am horrified for her. She never knew peace, it seemed like. Never knew peace, genuine happiness, love, nothing. And now at only 14 years old, already gone. Oh, I have no words for it, you guys. I can't believe this. I really can't. So in my initial video, I said I didn't like the way that her brother had been pushing for this for her for so long, and the way that he was allowing her to use slurs and, you know, seemingly pushing her to use slurs and whatnot. She was only like, what, 10, 11. She didn't know this stuff. And that I found it very suspicious that they passed at the same time. And I was looking at him funny. But now after this GoFundMe that I'm reading, oh, I want that dad investigated. Because the receipts that Jason provided, you guys, these receipts, the photos of her face, of her body, of the text messages about the moldy lunches, the photo of the moldy, unhealthy lunches, the ripped up shoes we saw, right? And then the text message about the ripped up shoes. And then about the nudity in the house around her and everything. Then the police, he gave us the police case number and everything, you guys. I believe him, and I am devastated by this news. And Tay didn't deserve that. Nobody deserves to live like that. Absolutely, absolutely not. Again, all of this stuff is alleged innocence until proven guilty and whatnot. I do wonder what ultimately wound up happening with the case, right? Because this case was going on in 2021. What happened? Did the father ultimately end up somehow worming his way into a win, and then Tay just did not, right? Like, I can't live with this guy. This guy treats me horribly. The system failed me. Like, what happened? Oh, Lord have mercy. Guys, I hope that this information was not too damaging to you. Let's try to kind of lift our spirits a bit and send our best wishes to Tay. And I don't know. Do something that brings you joy, just to take your mind off of this, because this was extremely heavy. It really was. I did not read the GoFundMe page before covering it with you guys. I wanted to do it together. And comme on dit en français, je m'attendais pas du tout à ça. I did not at all expect that. I'm so heartbroken for her. I really am. Let me know what you think about this situation, and whether or not this GoFundMe page that her brother created in 2021, so 2.5 years ago, trying to save her, if that makes you look at this case any differently, because yeah, it certainly has changed my perspective. But let me know what you think in the comment section down below, and as usual, we'll chat. That's all for now. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.